Life with God is so good.
So come join us on this fun life where we put God in the center of everything.
What's up, everybody?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
If anyone's discouraged, you tuned into the right show today because
Absolutely.
we want to talk about encouragement. And so, but Joe, you had something on your mind you wanted to discuss.
I do. The book of Job, talking about Job and his plight. And I think that book, if it's not my favorite story in the Bible, it's probably one of them because it deals with overcoming adversity. And we all seem to root for the underdog. When man's in a crucible, we love to see him get himself out of it. So it's about going through tough times. And if there's ever someone in the Bible who went through a tremendous testing, it's Job. And through all that he went through, he still gave it all to God. When he could have cursed God and blamed God for the things that happened to him, he was ultimately totally humble before God, and he still paid homage to God, even though he pretty much lost everything.
Oh, definitely lost everything but his life. The angels, it says, met before God, and God asked them, Satan was with them, he said, what have you been doing, Satan? And he said, I've been roaming the earth. He said, have you considered my servant Job? And he said, there's no one like him. He's blameless, he's upright, he's righteous, he shuns all evil, he shuns it. And so what Satan said at that point, he said, well, God, you put a hedge of protection around him, but if you strike him and everything he's got, you take it away, he will curse you to your face. That is all Satan really is saying to God.
God basically asked Satan to test him, and he said, take my servant Job. And the devil went after Job and cursed him in every way. He lost his livelihood. In those days, having a lot of animals, and those were his riches, his animals and his personal things that he had in his life were all taken away from him. He lost all his children in one event. And when he was told that his children had all been killed, what did he do?
He gets up and tears his robes, shaves his head, and then falls down and worships God. It says he worshiped him. And then he said, naked I came, naked I will go. And, God gives, God takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Praise the Lord. The bottom line message of believing that if you drove out the driveway and somebody ran into your car, that you don't sit there and, have road rage, or that somebody, gets in front of your car when you're driving to work and it messes you up and you have to slam on your brakes, or you're at a restaurant and they bring out the wrong food. You go back in there and you just realize God has done this. So God screened everything. And so in the last chapter, it says that the family came back and they comforted Job because of all the trouble that the Lord had brought on him. It didn't say anything about Satan. Everybody keeps blaming Satan, but nothing can happen to you unless it's screened by God. Satan is out roaming the earth, but then he's got to go before God before he's afflicting someone. So I would love for all of us to understand that we get to the point where, hey, you come in and you lose your job. Well, praise God. I mean, if you've not sinned, well, praise God. God's allowing me to go through this, or the car, breaks down. Praise God. I mean, we get to the point where we're a Job and we're not talking like the foolish woman, who was complaining about all of it. When you lose your reputation, I mean, it obviously to the world you look cursed. And I actually can identify with some of this, like, you're sitting there trying to do the will of God, and yet false accusers come in and try to make you out to be something that you're not. Well, in the end, Job, his reputation is restored because God goes back in there and blesses him double. But okay, so we talk about our own testing in this, but really, is this not about learning that God is the one that's going through all of these, the heavens and all these angels, and you've got the demonic forces, and this war is really, the battle of the ages is God's war, and he's got these agents that are evil that are saying that we would curse him if things are taken from us. And we know our own children, you can spoil them so quickly. So if you don't think that we have not been raised and been spoiled, and if you don't think that's not why we're having trouble laying the food down, it is. It is very symbolic, this spoiled nature, where we're thinking that this, pushing that plate aside, or, having to give up that dessert, or give up whatever you're having to give up,
We have it so good in this country. One of the wonderful things about what I used to do in the entertainment industry is I had the fortune of being able to travel to many different places in the world. Nobody wakes up as free and as well kept and as secure as we do in this country. The opportunity that we have far exceeds most places in the world. I remember being in Russia, and if you didn't get to the little market by midday, the food is gone. All the good stuff is off the shelves already, and there's nothing. I mean, they have some things left, but if you don't get there early, you don't get anything after that. And so I don't think anybody can even relate with not going to the store and having everything that they want, whenever they want it.
I think that it's our time to shine for God. It is our time to put a smile on our face and praise God, because God gives and God takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. No matter where we are, some of the happiest people are those that have very little anyway. So apparently material possessions are not going to bring happiness. So what if God did take everything away? What if God took everything you had away? Could you fall on your face and worship and say, blessed be the name of the Lord? Praise you, God. Praise you for whatever, because I didn't have anything coming here on this earth, and I'm not going to have anything when I leave. What if today he took everything and all I had was, just all I was left with is a body with a bunch of boils on it, and would I be able to say? And that's
a good question.
Yeah, and we've got to get there. It isn't like we've got to ask that question, but the point would be is that we have to get there. We have to get there. Do you want to lose your weight all the way? Do you want to lose your temper all the way? Do you want to lose your any characteristics? If you want to be like Job, blameless, upright, pure, holy, shunning all evil. Shunning, he wouldn't dare. He said he wouldn't dare stand and linger at the door of another woman that wasn't his wife. He wouldn't dare. He said that's a sin worthy for hellfire. He wouldn't lust. He wouldn't do anything. He shunned evil. Job was a totally upright man, and he spoke once, but he never spoke again. He told God, I spoke once, but I'll never speak again. He goes, I heard of you, but now I see you. I see you, God. I see you. I know you. I get it. You're in your own war, and I was being used to make God look good. And here we are, complaining about our little lot. Some people got on the scales today and they overdid it because they were complaining,
I think what you're saying is so powerful. You mentioned getting on your face. I think the question to ask is, how much of your day are you incorporating God into? I mean, most people go to church on the weekends or whatever, but how much of your day? There are people in other religions, they literally get on their faces 5 times a day to pray to God. And I don't know too many other people that do stuff like that, demonstrate and exercise their faith all day long. They think about that, and I ask myself, am I doing that? Am I incorporating God that deeply into my life where I'm thinking about him like that all day long? And if you can start to do that, it puts you in closer touch, and we start to become more Job-like in dealing with our adversities. And I think that's a very important thing to incorporate.
It's a great challenge, isn't it? people wonder how there's so much joy on those that suffer, and that is the Job joy, and it came from the teachings of Job. And Christ is on the cross, and he looked down and he was taking care of his mother while he was on a cross in that much pain, and he said, God, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. He was worried about the people, he was worried about his mother, and he was, I think the only time he even mentioned anything was I thirst one time. That was amazing amount of focus on God, focus on others, and not yourself. And in that there's mere Christianity. So,
Amen.
Okay, well, we want you to share this with your friends.
If you're enjoying this, please tell somebody that you love or care about, and then we'd love to see you guys.
Bye, guys. We
Love y'all.
being with you.
Love y'all. Take care. See you later.
If you're stuck, then there's not much I can tell you, except to watch.
Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell so you are notified when we have a new video.
Don't be afraid of old church system persecution.